Alright, so this is hanamura on defense. Alright, so at the beginning of the match here, you have some options for like random turret spots. Like you can put some back here behind this
Turret
truck.
deployed.
Like that. You can put some behind this sign up here like this. Maybe put one back here. These are random spots though, but if you want like a more stronger setup, like you can like set up a turret nest in this room in here
Defenses in place.
to prevent like enemies from coming in here, and you could take a lot of damage when they do. So you have 6 turrets like that. That's a pretty strong defense like that. You can stay in here and like spam orbs back behind this wall here. Going back out here, you have some more options for some strong turret nests. Like you can
Turret
put
online.
some turrets behind this post here, and if you do that, then you can put some back over here like this, something like that. So when enemies come running up through here, they will take damage from all these turrets at once. So another thing you could do is put turrets back behind this bridge here.
Sentry turret placed.
Something like that. That also creates a pretty strong defense like that for any enemies coming through any direction here. Another thing you could do is that you could put some turrets like on this wall
Turret
here.
deployed.
And then put some turrets in this wall here. Doing so like that, if any enemies are coming up here like through here, then they will take a lot of damage from those turrets there. Alright, so another thing you can do is that you can toss some turrets up against this
Turret
wall
online.
here. Maybe throw one way up here, maybe put one back over here. This is a strong defense for enemies just coming around the corner here. Over here, there's one thing to mention, that there's like a little wall right here you can put some turrets at, and then right over here you can also do the same thing. Put some turrets in this wall over here to create like a little defense for enemies coming through this direction here. Alright, so going into this section here, where you'll probably be spending most of your time at is around in this section here. So you can throw some turrets back here along this
Turret in
post back
place.
here like that. You can set up a turret nest in this room in here. Toss some turrets up there close to the ceiling. Maybe throw some turrets
From
in
light into being.
corners like that. Maybe even put one like back here like that. So this is a pretty strong defense here. You can stay here and like spam orbs. This is a good place to spam orbs right here. And also, if you got the turret nest there, you can also place your teleporter right up here, which is a decent spot, facing this direction, just right there. Allies will be teleported and go right up here, which is a pretty safe and secure location to be at for allies. Dropping down here, you can place some turrets like in these bushes. Like that.
Aligning defense system.
Keep in mind that these bushes don't appear for everyone depending on your video settings. You can place some turrets there like alongside that wall there, maybe some back behind this rock.
Sentry deployed.
Like that. You can also like place turrets like below on these boards down here. And then over here.
From light
Doing so
into
creates a
being.
pretty strong defense for enemies as come running right down off that boardwalk there. They'll have to take a lot of damage and then turn around to attack the turrets. Going over here, you can place some turrets up here.
Defenses in place.
Maybe put one like back here. So when enemies come right around this corner here, they'll have to take a lot of damage from those turrets. You can jump up here and throw a turret here.
Sentry
And
turret placed.
put it up higher, actually, it'd be better. That will warn you if enemies are coming through that choke point up there. Alright, so going in over here, you got this ridge back here, you can toss some turrets behind
Aligning defense system.
that. In this room here, there's not really any really strong locations for turrets, but you could like put like a turret like up here in the corner.
Turret online.
And maybe some turrets like along this little wall right there. I have seen some people put a teleporter in here. I don't really recommend it. I think there's much better spots, but you could put one here, but I don't really recommend it. If you do, stay up here, spam your orbs, keep maybe put a turret there to
Turret
warn you
in
if
place.
any enemies are coming through that choke point there. Put turrets in this room and just protect it. But overall, I don't recommend that. Going just right in here, you can set up a turret nest in this room and here, like this, something
Turret
like
deployed.
this. So this is a pretty strong defense like that for any enemies coming through in here. And if you do this, you can set up a teleporter right here, which can be a decent spot, especially if you have like a Torbjorn turret also guarding the area or a Bastion sentry guarding the area. I don't recommend placing a teleporter right here or in those other corners because the enemy will be able to see them more effectively. Placing them in this corner tends to be a little bit safer. Alright, so dropping down here in this room, you can set up a turret nest in this room. Placing them high up in these raptors tends to be a pretty good tactic. Keeps it safe and secure, more from splash damage, and tends to be more effective at just killing enemies as they come running into this room here. You can place some turrets back here behind this bell. Another spot for a teleporter is just right down in here. This is another insecure spot, I think. I think there's better locations, but if you need to get a teleporter out pretty quickly, you can use this spot right here. If you can protect it by throwing a turret up there like that.
Deployed.
There's some better spots for teleporters over here, and I'll show them to you in just a little bit. You can place turrets like in these bushes here, but like I said, keep in mind these bushes don't appear for everyone,
Defenses
depending
in
on your
place.
video settings. So over here, I think is a better, more safer, secure location for a teleporter than that one over there. If you want it to be even safer than that, you can put it right here. And if you want it to be even safer than this, you would put it back over here. And I think overall, this is probably the safest and most secure location for a teleporter for the first point A. I think this is the safest and the securest. But if you want a really good location, this is my favorite location, which is right here for a teleporter. When allies get teleported out, they'll be immediately right here to attack enemies on point A. And they're also, it's up above and safer from flankers and stuff. So it can be a good spot. The only drawback about this teleporter location is that it's so well known that flankers may just just try to come up here and just take it out because they know that teleporters can be placed there. Alright, so another spot for a teleporter, you can place a teleporter like right here, which is okay. And moving into the next section, so as you're moving into the next section here, you can like put turrets in like random spots to kind of like slow the enemy down as they reach to point B. This doesn't really provide too much of a powerful setup, but it can slow them down a little bit. Put some turrets in this room and here like this. Maybe put like a couple in here. You can put one in this well. You can put one back here behind this bush like that. But if you want a more powerful setup, then I recommend putting them like this.
Turret deployed.
And then two over here. So that right there provides a much more powerful setup. And you can set a turret nest up in this room here.
Aligning defense system.
And then put like two up above these raptors like this. So that right there is a pretty powerful turret nest right there. Alright, so going on down here. You could put like one above that door to warn you if enemies are coming through that choke point there. And here you can set some turrets up in here. I recommend them sticking out of the ceiling instead of out like that. If you put them up like that, it tends to be a little bit more effective like that. Over here, you can set up some turrets back behind these little posts here. The only problem with setting turrets back up here on these posts is that they tend to get killed by splash damage pretty easily, but you can do that. Another thing that's probably a little bit more powerful is setting up turrets along these boards here like this. The only issue here is that you're also very exposed, so you could get killed here. A more safer alternative is just dropping down here and then jumping up and putting the turrets up here like that. It's a little bit more safer.
Aligning defense system.
Like that. You can put a turret here to warn you if enemies are coming through this choke point here. And a lot of enemies will be traversing
From
this
light
pit
into
here to
being.
get over here. And you can set up some turrets here to help stall them down a little bit. You can set up a turret nest back up behind here.
Sentry deployed.
Something like that. That tends to be a pretty powerful setup like that. In here, really the only times when enemies come back in
Turret
here
in
is to get
place.
this health pack. And these turrets right here, a lot of times will usually kill them before they even reach the health pack. It's happened to me before, so I know it does work. You could set up like a turret or two back behind this post here.
Aligning defense system.
And over here you can set some turrets up on the sides. Back over here like that, and one over here on this side. It's kind of hard to place a turret back up there, so I don't really recommend it, but the two on the sides right there works pretty well. Back over here you got this ridge here, you can put some turrets down through like this. That
Turrets
works
deployed.
pretty good. Over here you got this ridge here, put some turrets in. Also, this is a potential spot for a teleporter right here. Now, I know that the spawn is only right here, and that's the really bad part about Symmetra on defense on the second half of this map, is that there really isn't any really good spots for teleporters. This is like one of the few that's like a viable spot. You can set up some turrets here like
Defenses in
this,
place.
back behind this post here like that. And same thing with over here. And you can set up some turrets up here above this door,
Turret online.
like that. It's in case enemies come down here. Also, another potential spot for teleporter is either like right here, which I know this won't save much time, but like I said, you really don't have much options. You got some raptors back here. You can put some turrets
Turret in
like
place.
that, and up here as well, like that. Also, you got this door here. You can put some turrets around this door.
Sentry turret placed.
Something like that. Tends to be pretty effective to do that. And up here, you can jump up and throw some turrets up here. Like that. Tends to be pretty
Turret
good.
online.
Moving out here, you could place like a few turrets back behind here, and the reason why is that some enemies might be so low on health, they will be reaching for this health pack. The turrets may slow them down and kill them before they reach the health pack. So keep that in mind. Going on over here, one thing that probably the most interesting use of a teleporter on the second half of defense is putting a teleporter right here. Now, the whole point of putting a teleporter here is for offensive heroes such as Tracer and Reaper and Genji. You can get them right out here in the action like really quick here with using a teleporter right there. So keep that in mind. That's really the only strategic use of a teleporter on the second half of defense for Symmetra. And really, there isn't really any other. I don't even. If you die in the second half of this map on defense, you might as well just pick a different hero, really, because she's not really that effective on defense in the second half. And really, the reason why is because there's not really much places for teleporters. You can set up turrets like that to prevent enemies from coming through these windows here. Alright, so that pretty much does it for Symmetra on defense for Hanamura.